Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here with my continuing playthrough of World Ablaze mod for Hearts of Iron 4. And of course, we're playing as the German Reich. And so we are doing the preliminary steps of getting ready to go after the Soviet Union. Now, we can... I think we want one of those theorists. Chief of the Navy, maybe. Well, Fritz Todt, okay, has not died. Okay, I think Fritz Todt. Been told we need to complete the focus, appoint Albert Speer, because he has a lot of factory output. Bonuses here. Oh, there it is. So we can appoint him as soon as we can. And that's 35 days. Well, we'll see about that and leading up to our push into the east. In co-op would work. I remember Paradox doing a dev versus streamers co-op. That was entertaining. Tahan Toti. Yeah, well, like I've been saying, I really enjoyed our co-op series. I just wish more people would be watching it. So, you know, when this is over, you guys can go watch. And hey, you know, anybody listening out here, I mean, a bunch of you are actually the players in the co-op series. I mean, I want your comments on the video just as posts. That's great. But really, other people who haven't played in it, what do you think about the episodes? Are they entertaining? Yes, no. I want all that kind of feedback. I always want feedback. So those of you watching this World Ablaze episode, give us feedback on the co-op series or this series. Okay, maintenance company, very nice. We just hit 42. We do that. I don't know. We got some bombers, attackers, Stukas. Well, I think this is maybe the best. These pilot promoted. Nice of you. Come on, Italy, support your colony down here. It's mostly us and the one of these Iraqis. Enemy agent turned. Okay, we have. Yeah, what we're doing is converting over to Type 9 U-boats. Oh, we gotta do better than auto placing. Or they won't be in the right spot. Okay, we want to place them. Let's go down here because I want them to start forming their different group, not have them mixed. No. Have them mixed with the other classes. Oh, we have even more. Okay, well, cool. We want even more. Oh, wait a minute. No, we haven't done that yet. Okay, and yes, still even more with that. Oh. Well, we're capturing a lot of spies. They're retreating back. They're coming in here. Well, let's move as fast as we can down here. We want to get you out of North Africa. More type 9s. Hello, Ondara Chimmel? Ciao? How you doing? Sorry I'm butchering your name, I'm sure. And to let everybody know, I'm streaming both on YouTube and Twitch. If you prefer the other platform, go there, whichever is best for you. Well, don't know if you're guarding all that well or not. Okay, now that we have some of these guys, I think what we're going to do is send some more of these mountain divisions that I probably don't need to keep occupying Norway with off to... No. Where are you up there? Not down here. I don't know. We come here. We can maybe do a naval invasion up in the north. There actually were sort of mini naval invasions along this coast area. They never made it to Murmansk, though. But the mountain troops were doing a lot of amphibious warfare up there. Hello, LOL. Best, how you doing?
Ausrücken! Bereit! Ausrücken!
Okay, we are sinking American subs, it appears. Which, of course, is a good thing. Maybe a bad thing that they're all the way in there, but a lot of action out here. Okay, our air units. Well, we took out a destroyer. Took out another destroyer. Inclusive actions. Another destroyer down. I think all those destroyers are out at doing anti-submarine patrols because we did have subs out there for a while and got a lot of them lost, but okay. What is this? I don't know, Honduras or something? Okay, I think these are all the type, yeah, type 7 class. Now, let's have them go convoy raiding. Well, the Azores is probably a little too close. Let's do Mid-Atlantic Gap. And okay. Grand Admiral Raider. Where is the engage at medium risk? Is that, or because I want them to retreat when they start getting too badly shot up, so I don't know if you can easily just tell me what the setting, or where the setting is, you know, left, right, top, bottom for enable automatic reinforcements. Okay, no. Automatically split us off is now disabled. Pair priority high. Current engagement. Engage at medium risk. Engage at high risk. Always engage. Do not engage. Engage at low risk. Okay. Okay, we're gonna go with low risk for these guys. So they'll go out there and engage at low risk. I think that's good. Okay, I think I figured that out. I mean, sure, I would like to choke off all enemy convoys, but the whole point, really, in my mind with this is, well, we lost a sub there, and we took out a convoy there, though the real point is to do as much damage as you can without, or compared, not without loss, but with loss, with minimum loss to you. Uh-oh. How did they do this? These guys made it to here, so they're being supplied from there. Okay, fine, but how did they... Yeah, I know things are slow here. This is low infrastructure and probably heavily damaged. No, you're here. You attack them. Counterattack there. Oh, I had to retreat. Some Dutch down here. Okay, we're gonna come down to Juba. Alright, well, rating efficiency.
Los! Zuhören!
Now, we could... Where... Okay, the Italians are down here pretty good. There. Hello, No Need. Hello, Beam Slam. How you doing? Go all to the end. Say, well, we're gonna go. This again to everybody who's either watching now or watching later. This is a test playthrough, is how I'm viewing it, to take a look at what World Ablaze is, and I know it's still in development. I mean, hell, parts of Iron 4 is still in development. So I don't know how. We're going to try the Soviet Union invasion here coming up shortly. I don't know how far we're going to go after that. It's most, like I say, it's mostly here just to see how all this goes. We were able to take here really only by doing an invasion back here in Palestine and cutting them off. We weren't able to do well here. Now, so these are kinds of questions that I'm trying to figure out with what's going on and how the mod is working and whatnot. So I don't know how deep or how long we're going to go into all of the... Okay, you come back to here. Okay, panzers are here. Infantry is here. They're retreating back to there. See if you can cut them off. You drive to the airport. No, the airport's over here, I guess, and to the air base. Guess these guys can just leave from down here once they get to the ports, get them back up. Yeah, that's a big question for me. You don't want it like super easy that we just simply, say go to, Leningrad, Moscow and Stalingrad. And, hey, we won. But you also don't want to make it like when I was last playing Hearts of Iron or Black Ice, that you're just stuck along this border forever. You don't want that either. So it's a tricky balancing test for any of the mods that are trying to make things fairly realistic. Okay, we have more free dockyards. Then we're going to put more Type 9 submarines into operation. Okay. Now, we're getting to repairing things a little more heavily. Some still expansion. Now, when can we start deploying? And make sure these you get mostly completed before you can deploy units. Which, yeah, isn't a bad idea. Okay.
Ihre Befehle.
Right.
Ausrücken. Bereit zum Ausrücken. Ausrücken.
Okay, let's take a look at the template for these guys. Okay. Well, do we have enough supply equipment? Yes, we have a lot of supply equipment. So let's look at our... Is there a support unit? Because we're low on a lot of this other stuff. So we could do a horse-drawn field hospital there. I think afford it reasonably well. And so that my first real test with this mod was how well the Battle of France went, and I think it was adequate. Maybe that's, I don't know, too faint of praise or whatever, but I mean, I wasn't super impressed, but I wasn't disappointed either. So that part is okay. And so the other big test, I mean, not that North Africa is nothing, it is definitely something, but the other big one is coming into... Okay, you come in to occupy a little bit more internally here. Keep the resistance activities down. Do we ever recruit an agency up? No, 5 more days. And so that's what we're testing. I mean, so I'm just building subs out here, and putting them out in hopefully intelligent paths. But I'm not really worrying about the Navy. I just created the first intelligent, or I'm creating the first intelligence agency. So I'm not like playing this game really terribly seriously, shall we say. It's between hard and easy. It's a balancing act. Also, the exercise in prioritizing which front to press on first, and how would that before the USA joins the chat. Yeah. Yeah, very much, because what when I say we, because I'm a modder too, what these modders, game developers, we're all reverse engineering World War II. Okay, you know, this is an elite division. Okay, like Liebstandart, the first SS Panzer Grenadier, whatever it's called over its history. Division. I mean, starts the war as a regiment, but you know, okay, this is an elite division. Well, what does that mean? You know, compared to a standard army division, you know, of Germany's, and how does that compare to the Polish division? If the Polish division has the same amount of artillery, same amount of rifles, same amount of machine guns, let's just say theoretically, how is Liebstandarte better? Because we can see that however good Poland was, and it was a bit out of date as an army, the German division, two division, even in a standard German army, two divisions that have equal number of men, equal number of artillery pieces, equal number of machine guns and rifles or whatever. Basically, the German division wins. Okay. And that's because of leadership factors, communication factors, I think training levels, other things involved there going on. So generally speaking, if things are equal, Germany normally wins. Now, not like it kicks its butt, on a 1-to-1 basis super hard, but generally it wins. And if you can get a 2-to-1 basis, it's going to win pretty damn well. Okay, so what does that mean? You got to sort of go in and analyze all that stuff and come up with comparative values. And okay, once you do that, then if you're just doing a war game, shall we say, of the invasion of Poland, well, then you just go and get all the historical units on both sides, put them out in sort of roughly historical starting points and go play. And can the Poles last an extra 2 weeks or whatever? That's considered winning in the game, or whatever it might be. And because obviously it's not a chess match, which each side is fairly balanced. It's, obviously it's a delaying action for the Poles, and you're fighting to delay the outcome, not who's going to be victorious and who's going to lose the overall campaign. But okay, that's fine. But once you jump up to this grand strategy level, is sort of saying that, yeah, what's the U.S. doing? What does production values mean? Producing how many rifles, how many aircraft, and all of that, and how good are the aircraft, and how good are the pilots training, and where are you emphasizing Pacific Front or Eastern Front, and all of that. And so we're reverse engineering World War II and then giving variables, the Protez, or however you pronounce it, nice 6x6 light truck that Krupp built before an early war. Well, that factory gets bombed. And the Germans, okay, it's bombed. It's functionally destroyed. And so they don't build any more of these vehicles. They don't. They're good vehicles, I think, but they're not great. They're not wondrous. You still have, the Opel Blitz truck, which is just your basic sort of truck, and a bunch of other truck manufacturers that are a bit larger. Now they just keep rolling with those things. They don't like rebuild the factory just to make more protesters, or however you say it. So the production ceases on those, and I'm sure they salvage what machinery they can and they use it to produce something, but that production line is destroyed. It's done. They don't try to rebuild it because it's not like, oh, we've got to have this particular truck for whatever reason. I think part of the stuff is going on is they're encountering the Eastern Front is happening, and whether it's the snow or I always butcher this word, the Respetina, the mud problem in the East. They're going, instead of light trucks to pull light, anti-tank guns, and anti-tank guns and such were getting heavier, but they were still doing light, the 75 millimeter field howitzers, light AA. Instead of pulling them by a light truck, we'd rather have them pulled by a light half-track. So I think maybe some of the emphasis was shift, but they kept up production pretty steady until it was bombed. Well, what if that factory doesn't get bombed? Because what if, I don't know, they've already invaded England, or what if they have better Luftwaffe coverage and the bombing raid happens but doesn't blow up the factory so much? You got these what ifs. So you have this sort of what-ifing balance here, is how bad are we repairing these factories or not? What's going on with all this crap here that needs to be repaired to get up to it? A lot of this is an occupied territory or whatever, and not that. So all of that is hard to do, and so we're always making balancing judgments. By the way, I was updated with a ton of stuff on September 25th. Don't know if the issues of supply got addressed or some other AI issues, like inadequate building of equipment. So, okay, Beam Slam, that's a good reason for me to go back to that mod to try that out after I get done with this. So that will probably be my next big thing if they've updated it, because I just got frustrated and haven't been watching it. How do you sort out propaganda, elite divisions, real elite divisions? Yeah, supply factors, age generally well modded in Hoi 4. Yeah, no, yeah, you're absolutely right. What makes up an elite division? In real life, and then how it's modded into a war game is obviously trying to do it. Elite divisions, in some cases, have special selection by trial by endurance, shall we say, like the Rangers in World War II, or even the Airborne in World War II for the Americans. They had really hard, trials to get through just to get into the unit. The Airborne had to run up and down a particular mountain I think in Georgia or South Carolina every day. Currahee, I think it was called. They had to do this stuff, and so many people just dropped out because they weren't physically fit enough to get through it, or motivated enough to go through the harsh tactics. Okay, so wheedling out groups of people. Training levels. How much training do you get? Do you get 90 days of training before you go to the front? Or do you get 6 months of training before you get to the front? So training levels. 3 is equipment levels. Do you get all the latest equipment? Do you have all the tanks you're supposed to have? Maybe you have extra. Your tank battalion has extra units over a standard tank battalion, or you get the newest tanks. Those elements come into elite. The fourth element is a bit harder to do in judging in real life and or in war games. Hard to quantify, but it's sort of the will to fight, sort of the ideological element. So you can see, I don't know, some of the Japanese willing to fight for the death, even in non-elite units. So their morale is sort of unshakable to some degree. Or is the Waffen-SS, because they're an all-volunteer, basically the elite units, because there's obviously junk Waffen-SS units too, but the elite units in the Waffen-SS, they were all volunteer corps. They were all ideologically motivated, not just because, they had physical fitness standards, but for like Das Reich and Leibstandarte, their physical fitness standards were sort of maybe a little better than the standard, Panzer Grenadier division or something, but not superbly more. Then they had more height, be the right how tall you had to be and whatnot. And some of those a little bit more than the Army. But they didn't have a hard selection course, so it was more ideological. So, yeah, and you get in those sort of 4 issues, and that's how you. And if you have enough elements of those, you're an elite unit of whatever source and whatnot. And so then you put it in Zaire, the current Congo, the DSP are considered elite, but they melted like snow once they met Rwandan troops in 1997 at Katanga. Tigers, on the hand, performed well at the same supply level. I don't know specifically who the Katangan Tigers. I know Katanga as in the breakaway state that was supported by some of the mercenaries down here. I do know about Katanga, but I don't know specifically about the Katanga Tigers. And generally, I think they're called the gendarmes. I think it was maybe it's been so long since I've been reading about it, but the Katanga gendarmes was sort of the basic military element, was actually fairly decent compared to some of the other Congolese forces, and they stood up reasonably well against some of the Swedes that came in. See if Toyjet was still around, he'd hear me bashing the Swedes. So the Katanganese did okay, and the mercenaries did better against the Swedes, but the Swedes won just because the UN overwhelming the Katanga state down here in the 60s gets overrun. So yeah, and Sweden rules, yeah. And I definitely, different motivation levels, different motivations to be in the army in different places in Africa. Sometimes you have, I think, rather strong nationalism, like in Biafra, but the troop quality, shall we say, of the Biafran soldiers wasn't so great necessarily. But I don't know that the Nigerian soldiers' troop quality was much better. Just they were much better equipped. And, well, from 67 to 1970, it took, I don't know if it was a full 3 years, but it took years for Nigeria to retake Biafra fully, sort of down to Port Harcourt down in here that they were sort of holding out at the end. So, yeah, there's often variables, and sometimes whether it's nationalistic, or patriotism reasons versus just, hey, I'm a soldier because the gig's good. You get well paid, get to carry a gun, whatnot. But they're not there trying to defend their own homeland. They're trying to, keep Nigeria whole or whatever. They're not necessarily going to fight hard. But I also, and I know noting as a shall we say, more closer observer of Africa, being in Africa, that than I am, but different, because Americans just see, well, at least zoom into here, see all this as one group of people. I mean, I'm trying to keep the Arabs in the north along the coast out of this, but they see this all as one group of people, and I know it's not. And we were talking about the other day about the Bushmen, which I sort of see down in Southwest Africa, but also in South Africa, at least as I call them. I forget the Khorsanians forget the name, but I just know them by the name of the Bushmen. I had to Google what he said for me to know what it was. But then, Bushmen, yeah, know a bit about them. So, yeah, different ethnic groups considerably down here, and they're not all the same like the Americans sort of see them as. So they just see them as Africans, where, there's a lot of differences between different groups. Thanks, Arno. Yes, liking the stream on YouTube does mean that they will more likely suggest it to other people. Are we done yet with 4 days? And so elites can be variables, and as we can see, the average American infantryman right now, of course, is a volunteer, meaning we have no conscription in the U.S. They all volunteer to be here, and especially since shortly after the 2001 9/11 attack, all of the volunteers going into the Army know they're going into combat. So all of the people that are just there to get a better education, because there were a lot of people, from poorer backgrounds, just, and we're going to go, yeah, I guess anti-partisans, there we go, and whatnot. Basically, they all know they're going into combat. So they know they're going to go be soldiers and not just, there for the gains. Maximilian, their red battle flyer, burnout, shot down. A victory of all German Reich will be remembered. Okay, base war support. Okay, so let's look down here. But the average U.S. infantry fighter easily defeats your okay, why are you, you're still marching there, you're coming down here this way, I guess. The most elite element in the Iraqi army. So yeah, and that was a professional army that had fought and I don't know if that means that they were a bit used up for fighting the Iranian army that fought them to a draw. So that was, especially if you look at the 1980s army, or no, the 1990s army, sorry, of Desert Storm. You see the, yeah, I guess we don't go there. So we want to get to the port. You know, so that was a battle-hardened army, and the U.S. just kicked its butt. So that all varies. Hello, Sky for Just. What do you think about low resistance system? Because this mod is really, and I mean really hard, but this adds another level of difficulty. Yeah, this mod is a complicated mod. I've been sort of ignoring until just very recently the whole intelligence agency on this thing. Hearts of Iron. And they've tried to make I'm gonna. And this is not entirely correct, but in simple terms, they've tried to dumb down Hearts of Iron, and not necessarily the sophistication of how this battle here that had happened, an air attack against 1 frigate and 3 destroyers in which we killed that. That is actually still rather well technically fought out as a battle on the map, as it were. But they've tried to simplify it maybe for players. But it really isn't a simple game. It's a game that should take multiple sessions to get okay at. Now, I'm not saying great at or good, like, hey, I can beat other players. I mean, just to be able to play it well. It should take multiple sessions, and you should want to do a lot of things and, manage a lot of things in the game. If you don't want to do that kind of stuff, and especially Hearts of Iron 3 is not for you, and probably Hearts of Iron 4 is not for you. It's not to be a simplified game, and maybe simplified is a better term than dumbed down. And I don't mean this as a knock on anybody who's playing it, because it's how much time and effort you want to put into the game. And it's not that you're whether intelligent enough or not intelligent enough to play the game. It's how much time do you want to take learning the game. And we're going to keep going there, but we're going to change to get Nairobi. And then we're going to go here and down here. And so if you don't want to take the time to learn it all, and I play it a lot faster than I like to for right now for this series, because I could spend 3 or 4 times as much detail in playing the game, but it would just get more and more boring to watch. We captured a British operative, very good. Or at least I think it would for most people, so. Okay, I don't care about the quality of the Chanel division. They're not meant to actually really fight real opponents. They're meant to go in and occupy. Okay, now let's put him under, maybe an SS guy. Dietrich, Kruger, no. Well, it doesn't look like Browhitch to me, but I don't. Maybe I'm just, the photos that I'm used to seeing may not be good representatives of him. I don't know. Oh well, I guess not an SS guy, because there's not just a crummy junk SS officer here. We'll put him under him. Okay, just so that we can see here. Okay. Well, Luxembourg is being a bit of a problem. So let's move into Luxembourg. Dieppe is being a bit of a problem, so let's move 2nd Division out there. Okay, up there in the Dutch, the Arnos are being a problem. Okay, down near the Spanish border. I don't know that these are the worst of the... I'm going to put you on range because you come all the way down here.
Ausrücken.
The problems, but they're just the ones that are popping up first, so... Okay, down to Strasbourg.
Zuhören. Ausrücken.
Which probably shouldn't really be that much of a problem, but okay. Down over near Nancy.
Zuhören.
And over in Brussels.
Bereit.
Thank you so much, No Need. That really helps. The thumbs up and shared on Twitter, that really, really helps. Daily history thread. Well, hey, post a link on your, right here on your, to your, Twitter, feed. I want to follow it. No Need. I would appreciate if you did. So I want to, go in and copy and paste that so I can follow it myself. Yeah, I'm just not bothering that much with Turkey, and quite honestly though, Arno, I want to test out sort of Barbarossa without, say, Turkey as being an issue, because Uncharted has done a lot of work to the AI, and I want to face his AI as sort of a historical base, so I don't really want to come through Iran and Turkey to go after the Soviet Union. I want to do a traditional Barbarossa, even if it's not the best thing, because again, this is more of a test of how well all this is working than it is a...
Angetreten.
Let's see, maybe you should come up this way. Remember, yeah, never have greens. If you mean green troops, yeah, I get you. I have that for, well, yeah, maybe, okay, we have time here.
Befehle.
Okay, those are trained. This whole front system is brought down. Okay, they're off over there.
Befehle.
You're right about that. Okay, so these are all trained.
Ihre Befehle.
Well, okay, some regulars, the rest trained.
Achtung.
Trained.
Achtung.
Those are the Panzer Division, so yeah.
Achtung.
Okay, some green here for Rommel's force. It's been waiting for an American invasion here, but it's still early in 42, so... well, let's... yeah. Let's train them. I keep forgetting, so yeah. Oh, it's here, right. So Rommel's force is being trained. They're up a Hoth. Now they're down in Africa, so we're not going to mess with them. And these guys, yeah, it looks like just about everybody's trained here. Reasonably well, but thank you for that. Time for a Coke? Oh, I got a little bit here actually still. I ate just before starting the stream. So yeah. But it is probably time to end the episode. I know we really haven't gotten very far, a lot of talking, but don't worry, the live stream ain't going anywhere. You live out there on Twitter, YouTube. But I'm going to end this episode. I want to thank you all for watching. Thanks for liking the videos. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Love to see you around more often and post comments about anything below. See you next time.